couples decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time
That's a really good
to
question.
take that route?
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. Wow. And it's not easy. It's a hard journey.
Because any other situation, this conversation would be about a man abandoned his wife and kids. That's the conversation. If a man leaves, and even when he's not the one that left, the conversation is he abandoned her and the kids. But when she's leaving, it's a self-love journey to find one's inner self and being. Like that's how they woman explain breaking up a family. That's why I always say, did he leave you and the kids, or did you leave him and just take the kids with you? Because but this is what it sounds like. What we're hearing right here, this is what it have always sound like. An inner peace, self-love journey is just woman explaining away, I'm breaking up my family for my own personal selfish reasons. But when women are filing 80% of the divorces, even if half of them was for good reasons, that still would mean the majority of the divorces that are being filed for selfish reasons like this. But the narrative that people like me have pushed back on, the narrative is that men are out here just breaking up happy homes, not stepping up to the plate, not being fathers. These are women in happy marriages who are cutting and running. We're seeing that plain as day. Women in happy marriages cutting and running. She can't name a thing that was wrong other than her feelings. That's literally where this is at. That's literally where this is at.
What were you the most afraid of stepping in? Because you're stepping in. Because some people, when you say, "Oh, my husband and I are going our separate ways," they go, "Oh no, oh that's sad." But you actually see this as
a celebration.
A celebration.
I really do. I look at it as, one of my friends, she sent this beautiful letter to me from a woman who got a divorce. And it's all about, this perspective, in my opinion, and just changing the narrative.
It's men's fault that there's so many broken up families. That's the narrative. That's the narrative that we've been told is men's fault. So many broken up families.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So
she's calling divorce a graduation. Did she graduate or did she quit? Did she graduate? She's it's Kanye West album. You're a college dropout. It's not a graduation, it's a dropout. You quit. You flunked the final exam. You didn't graduate. That's the thing that they're saying. You could graduate from being married. I graduated. I think you can graduate from if a chick was thotting it up and then she quit thotting it up and settled down, and she can make an argument that she graduated from being, for the streets. But you can't leave the streets, get married, and then graduate from marriage and go back to the streets and say you graduated. No, you quit. You abandoned the post. What the hell? Like what kind of cockeyed mess is that, man? I don't know who it was. It was some very thotty Brittany Renner type chick. Y'all probably know who it is. She said something about a term marriage. No, that was SuperHead. SuperHead. Catherine Stevens, I forgot her name. She said something about a term marriage.
Also, people who are marriage material aren't always lifers either. Some people are marriage material for now. Like, you're good for now, but I'm not going to keep you. So in my marriage vows, I always specified how long this was going to last.
There are levels to this, apparently.
Like, I would always be like, and not like for now and forever and all that. I'd be like, okay, so the next year and a half. I would literally put that in my vows. So like, there's no, like, we're doing this for a couple of years.
So people be saying that, oh, well, y'all just, listening, paying attention what these thotty chicks are saying, and y'all thinking that's all chicks. But even a chick that presents herself well, who speaks well, who, talks like Candace Owens and presents a certain way, a lot of them still have that same pathology. Because what she's going to be talking about is a term marriage. That's what she's going to be talking about.
Therapy as well. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of therapy.
Like, they're talking about short-term marriages, but they expect men to come high-stepping in there to get married. And that's why I try to argue that when we're talking about women today, we're not even talking about, the out-of-pocket chick who would throw a brick through your window. Like, that's obvious. We can see that a mile away. But no, with women in general today, of all stripes, there's a certain pathology. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying that women of all stripes, of all cultures, background, or whatever the hell, all have the ability or capacity to hold some modern woman ideals. Like, that was one of the big things that Kevin Samuels' show exposed. There was a lot of women on there. I mean, there was some who just came in hot and you just knew they was on some bull. But then it was some that came in, speaking kind of, decently. And he just interrogated their thought process, and we found out that, yeah, they ain't about that life. They ain't serious. They ain't saying with the things that they saying that they want. We have soundly exposed that they don't want it. They're full of, and then even when they get it, after they have it for a while, then they're like, they don't want it. One thing that I said early, this was 3 years ago when I first started my channel, I was just throwing out little pre-records. That probably was 4 years ago now when I was just making little pre-records. I was saying with a lot of women, it don't matter what you're doing for them. Once they get used to you doing it, then you're not doing nothing. That's what a lot of them will do. So I always circle it back to when they try to pin it on the men. Like, we're watching publicly. I let's make this clear. Let's strip away all the fluff and the feathers. We're watching we're watching somebody break up a family. Like, if the man left her, the perception of it is that he walked out the door, the women and children clinged on to his ankles, and he like just dragging them. He like punching at their hands to get their hands and arms wrapped from around his ankles so he can go walk out the door. And they were just on the porch crying. It looked like The Color Purple or something. That's the perception of how families break up. That's the perception of how families break up. But no, now families break up to a warm, welcoming applause and the woman talking about her self-love journey. Like, that's how families break up.